Portia stared at the paternity results, her hands shaking, because the truth wasn't just dangerous, it could destroy everyone she loved. The lab was quiet in that unsettling after-hours way that made every sound feel amplified. Portia Robinson stood alone under fluorescent lights, staring at a single envelope on the counter. Inside it lay answers she'd sworn she wanted, answers she'd told herself were necessary. But now that they were here, the truth felt like a loaded weapon pressed against her chest. She exhaled slowly and opened the envelope. The name on the report made her knees weaken. "Oh, God," she whispered. This wasn't just complicated. This was catastrophic. Portia had spent years building a life around stability, around protecting her daughter, protecting her marriage, protecting the version of herself that Port Charles trusted. But this one piece of paper threatened to unravel everything: careers, families, futures. Most of all, Trina's. Portia pressed a hand to her mouth as guilt surged through her. She'd ordered the test, telling herself it was about clarity, about peace of mind. But the results didn't bring peace. They brought fear. Fear of what Curtis would do if he found out. Fear of what Trina would feel if her world shattered overnight. Fear of the man's name stared back at her from the page. The true father. A knock at the door made Portia jump. "Dr. Robinson?" a lab tech called out. "Everything okay in there?" Portia snapped the folder shut. "Yes, just finishing up." Her voice sounded calm, too calm. She waited until the footsteps faded before sinking into a chair, her mind racing. She had two options now: tell the truth and let it explode, or do what she'd always done best: control the damage. Her eyes drifted back to the computer terminal logged into the lab system. One change, one altered entry. A different name. A different future. "No," she said aloud, standing up again. "I can't." But her feet didn't move toward the door. They moved toward the keyboard. Hours later, Portia sat alone in her office, the city lights glowing faintly through the window. The altered report lay in front of her, pristine and official looking. Anyone who read it would believe it. Curtis would believe it. Trina would believe it. Everyone would. Portia's chest tightened. This wasn't just a lie. It was a decision that would echo for years. She told herself she was doing it out of love, that she was protecting her daughter from confusion, from pain, from a truth that could destabilize everything she knew. Still, the question haunted her. What happens when the truth refuses to stay buried? Curtis noticed something was off immediately. Portia smiled too quickly when he asked about the test. Her answers were precise, rehearsed. Curtis had spent years in law enforcement and private investigation. He recognized deflection when he saw it. "So," he said carefully, "we're good?" "Yes," Portia replied. "The results confirm what we already believed." Curtis searched her face. "You're sure?" Portia nodded, forcing herself not to look away. "I'm sure." But long after Curtis left the room, the weight of his unasked questions lingered. Portia felt it pressing down on her chest, heavier by the minute. Meanwhile, Trina sat with Jocelyn at the Metro Court, laughing over coffee and half-finished desserts. But something tugged at her thoughts, a feeling she couldn't shake. "Do you ever get the sense that people know things about you that you don't?" Joss paused. "That's weirdly specific. But yeah, why?" Trina shrugged, just a feeling. A feeling that her life was standing on a fault line waiting to crack. Elsewhere in Port Charles, another man felt it too. He didn't know why his name had crossed his mind when it did, only that something old, something unresolved stirred in his chest, a memory, a moment, a possibility he'd never allowed himself to fully consider. If the truth came out, it wouldn't just change Trina's life, it would change his. That night, Portia lay awake beside Curtis, staring at the ceiling. Every sound felt louder. Every breath felt heavier. She replayed the moment she'd changed the report over and over again. She told herself she'd done the right thing, but the truth has a way of pushing back. A misplaced file, a suspicious lab audit, one person asking the wrong question. Portia knew it was only a matter of time. In Port Charles, secrets never stay secrets. They simmer, they fester, and when they explode, they take everyone with them. She turned onto her side, closing her eyes, but sleep wouldn't come, because somewhere out there the true truth was alive, waiting. And when it finally surfaced, Portia wouldn't just have to explain what she did, she'd have to answer why, and whether love was ever enough to justify rewriting someone else's identity. The clock was ticking, and the true father remained unrevealed, for now.